Good morning, students. Our today's topic is body fluids and circulation, that is chapter number 18 of your NCERT book. You have learned that all living cells have to be provided with nutrients, oxygen, and other essential substances. So each living cell of our body requires oxygen and other nutrients. Also, the waste or harmful substances produced have to be removed continuously for healthy functioning of the tissue. Similarly, the waste materials are to be excreted out. It is therefore essential to have efficient mechanism for the movement of these substances to the cells and from the cells. In our body, proper efficient system should be there so that transfer of materials can take place from towards the cell and from the cell. Different groups of animals have evolved different method of this transport. Simple organisms like sponges and coelentrates circulate waste from their surroundings through their body cavities to facilitate the exchange of these substances. In the sponges and coelentrates, by simple diffusion, movement of substances occurs. In more complex organisms use special fluids within their bodies to transport such materials. Blood is the most commonly used body fluid by most of the higher organisms, including humans, for this purpose. Another body fluid known as lymph also help in the transport of certain substances. In this chapter, you will learn about the composition and properties of blood and lymph, and the mechanism of circulation of blood is also explained here. Blood. Blood is a special connective tissue consisting of a fluid matrix, plasma, and formed elements, that is blood cells. Plasma. Plasma is a straw-colored, viscous fluid constituting nearly 55% of the blood. Viscous means thick and sticky fluid. 90 to 92% of plasma is water, and proteins contribute 6 to 8% of it. So maximum in the plasma, the main part is water, and some proteins are also present. The main proteins which are present are fibrinogen, globulins, and albumins. Named three proteins: fibrinogen, globulins, and albumins. Fibrinogens are needed for clotting or coagulation of blood. Globulins primarily are involved in defense mechanism of the body, and albumins help in osmotic balance. Osmotic balance means diffusion of water or solutes. Plasma also contains small amount of minerals like sodium, calcium, magnesium, bicarbonate ion, chloride ions, etc. Glucose, amino acids, lipids, etc. are also present in the plasma, as they are always in transit in body. Transit in body means some type of movement is there, some type of journey is there. They will enter, they will go out. So such type of movement is there of glucose, amino acids, etc. in the cell. Factors for coagulation or clotting of blood are also present in plasma in an inactive form. So some coagulating factor also is present in the plasma. Plasma without the clotting factor is called serum. So what is the definition of serum? The plasma without the clotting factor is called serum. Next is formed elements, that is blood cells. Erythrocytes, leukocytes, and platelets are collectively called formed cells, formed elements, and they constitute nearly 45% of the blood. First is erythrocytes, or red blood cells, are the most abundant of all the cells in body. A healthy adult man has on an average 5 million to 5.5 million of RBCs per millimeter cube of blood. RBCs are formed in the red bone marrow in adults. Where RBCs are produced? They are produced inside the bone marrow. RBCs are devoid of nucleus. Nucleus is absent in RBCs in most of the mammals and are biconcave in shape. They have a red colored iron containing complex protein called hemoglobin, hence the color and name of these cells. Red blood cells, that is why the name given red blood cells, because iron containing pigment is present. A healthy individual has 12 to 16 grams of hemoglobin in every 100 milliliter of blood. So in a healthy individual, 12 to 16 gram of hemoglobin should be present. That is calculated based on 100 by considering 100 ml of blood. These molecules play a significant role in the transport of respiratory gases. RBCs have an average lifespan of 120 days, after which they are destroyed in the spleen. Where spleen is present? Spleen is present above the stomach. It is also known as the graveyard of RBCs. Next is leukocytes. Leukocytes are also known as white blood cells, as they are colorless due to the lack of hemoglobin. They are nucleated, that is, nucleus is present in them, and are relatively lesser in number, which averages 6,000 to 8,000 per millimeter cube of blood. Leukocytes are generally short-lived. Their lifespan is very short. We have two main categories of WBCs, granulocytes and agranulocytes. First, WBC. WBCs can be of two types, granulocytes and agranulocytes. Then granulocytes are again of three types, neutrophils, eosinophils and basophils are the different types of granulocytes. So granulocytes can be divided into three, eosinophils, basophils, neutrophils. While agranulocytes are of two types, lymphocytes and monocytes. So WBC of two type, granulocytes, agranulocytes. Granulocytes again of three types, eosinophil, basophil, neutrophil. Agranulocytes are of two types, lymphocytes and monocytes. Neutrophils are the most abundant cells of the total WBCs and basophils are the least. Learn this line. Neutrophils, among these cells, neutrophils have the largest number and basophils are the least among them. Neutrophil and monocytes are phagocytic cells. Phagocytic means which can eat the germ cells, which destroy foreign organisms entering the body. When any foreign body enters in our body, these neutrophils and monocytes engulf. Phagocyte means eat these germs. Basophils secrete histamine, serotonin, heparin and are involved in inflammatory reactions. Inflammatory reaction means any type of swelling, redness, itching occurs. So in such type of reactions, these chemicals are involved which are secreted by the basophils. So basophil secretes histamine, serotonin, heparin. Next is eosinophils. Eosinophils resist infections and are also associated with allergic reaction. Eosinophils are related with allergic reactions. Lymphocytes again are of two types, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. B word comes from the bone marrow and T word from the thymus. Both B and T lymphocytes are responsible for immune responses of the body. They fight the germ cells. In our body they produce the immune response. When any antigen, foreign body enters in our body, so these B anti-lymphocytes produce antibodies against that germ or antigen. Platelets are also called thrombocytes, are cell fragments produced from megakaryocytes. What are megakaryocytes? Mega means large, large size cells. Megakaryocytes are the large sized cells. These are present in the bone marrow. Special cells in the bone marrow which produces platelets or thrombocytes. Blood normally contains 1,50,000 to 3,50,000 platelets per millimeter cube. Platelets can release a variety of substances, most of which are involved in the coagulation or clotting of blood. So platelets produce different types of proteins which help in the coagulation of blood. A reduction in their number can lead to clotting disorders, which will lead to excessive loss of blood from the body. If any factor is absent, then blood will not clot, and this will result in the excessive loss of blood from the body.